Hello everyone, and welcome to another Tamagotchi review video. This time I'm going to be reviewing the Jurassic World Tamagotchi Nano collaboration and giving my thoughts on why I absolutely adore this little nano. Now, I review and I unbox every single nano that gets released. I do love the Tamagotchi Nano, but sometimes I feel like they feel a little bit stale. They feel exactly the same, just with slightly different sprites, but in terms of their functionality, they're the same. However, this one is the first since, I guess, the R2-D2 Nano that makes me think that it's a unique virtual pet in terms of just not being just a standard nano. So, first of all, you can see that the character does walk back and forth. Usually it's just kind of bobbing up and down on the screen. This one's actually moving. However, the animation's not super fantastic. You can see it's basically just, it's not moving its legs. It's just skiing across the screen, basically, which is a little bit weird the more you watch it, but at least it's not just standing there bobbing up and down. It feels like it's actually doing something. And the fact that it's moving back and forth from the screen makes me a little bit nostalgic about Digimon. A lot of Tamagotchis don't have them walk to one side of the screen and then to the other. The main Tamagotchi that I can recall doing that, besides obviously the Digimon, was the Mothra collaboration, which, like the Digimon original virtual pets, they would walk from one side of the screen to the other and roar each time. So this one doesn't roar, and it doesn't really walk as much as it does ski, as you can kind of see. It's not super animated there or anything, but it is cute. It feels like it's something different, and it's not just them bobbing up and down in the center of the screen forever. They seem to be actually doing something. It makes it feel more realistic. How many things do you know just stay in one spot all day? Not many. These things move, and this thing is moving, sort of. He's skiing. But in any case, that makes it feel like it's a fairly original way of thinking for a nano, because typically they're just kind of there. So that's pretty cool. On the other hand, I do also like that it is the shell is just amber. I mentioned that in the unboxing videos, that I just adore both shells they released for the Jurassic World Nano. I think that the fact that it's amber, which is how in the Jurassic series they brought the dinosaurs back to life, they used the amber. So that's kind of cool. They used it. There was also the shell, which is pretty cool, but honestly I prefer the amber for that little detail. And I don't really have that many translucent virtual pets, so it's something a little bit different. I was worried that it would be called the pea shell, because all virtual pets that have that translucent yellow are usually lovingly referred to as the pea color one. This one doesn't feel that like that. It actually feels like it's amber. And the little painted details on the other side there do help for that. So that's pretty cool. We do have the logo at the top, which is fine. I know the amber wouldn't, but it kind of reminds you that it's a Jurassic World themed one. So that's fine. I don't mind too much that they've got the logo and branding there, just because all nanos do. So that's pretty cool. So in terms of the gameplay, we've got options to feed it or play games with it. And by game, I mean run away from the T-Rex that it tries to eat you. So you can go food, and you can either feed it meat or fish, and I've filled it up already, so it doesn't want any meat, but you can also feed it the fish. Now, I feel like fish is a little bit of a weird choice to give it. I would have logically, if I was in charge of this, I would give you the option of meat or plant, as in the herbivores or the carnivore kind of thing. But fish is fine too. Fish is tasty. So these obviously replace the meal and the snack options like other Tamagotchis have. So if you go to game, you've got a few games, all of which have titles written in English, which is kind of a weird touch because as of recording this, there's been no English release announced, at least as far as I've seen. That may change if it gets announced at any point between now that I'm recording this and it being released, and I do have that effect on things. So we've got the 3 games. Now, I always mention this, but the Nano games tend to be all from the same sort of pool. This game, as hard and annoying as it is, I don't recall this being on any of the other Nanos. This game where you have to kind of pick which egg has the dinosaur in it, it feels very unique. I don't think I've seen it on any other Nano, and that is cool. Also, I think I just realized it actually does show you where it stops pointing at the, like, it moves, so you can actually see which one it is. And I was today years old and I realized that. There's also the escape one. This one is the same sort of game that you'll see in a lot of Nanos, and it's the button mashing one where you button mash A, and in this case it's a character running across the screen. So this is the same on most of the Nanos. I don't think I can recall a Nano without the button mashing game. It's always my go-to because it's the easiest. I can kind of do it while I'm doing something else. So that's there. And then the 3rd game is called Catch Food, which is a game that's on a lot of the Nanos, except this one is going horizontally, and usually when you're catching food, it's catching it that's falling vertically, like from the sky. Usually it's like an apple catch or something. So that's another game that's very common on these Nanos. And there's also the reverse version of it, which is called, what's usually called like obstacles or dodge, and you have to like dodge obstacles, which makes sense because it's called dodge obstacles. So those are the games, and you basically just look after it, and the type of care that you give it and the quality of care determines which dinosaur it turns into. The way you feed it determines if it's a carnivore or not, I guess, which again, kind of weird that they give you the option of fish. And you click C and it shows you the how happy it is. So instead of having like a little stat screen like other virtual pets, that's your sort of your stat screen where you get to see how your little buddy's doing. So you can also mute it by holding C and pressing A and then choosing if you want to mute it or not. It uses icons there. I do find it, again, weird that we have English text despite not actually having an English release at the time of this recording. A lot of them have icons instead of any text at all, which makes it more accessible to different places. I don't know why they've used text instead of having just icons to display those, especially because it does have icons in some of the menu. But yeah, it's pretty cute. I also like the fact that most of the Nanos have little events that run throughout the day that have like moments from whatever series it is, or little characters that are having cameos on the device. And this one has little shorts, little animations that are similar or direct, like scene for scene bits of the Jurassic Park and Jurassic World movies, so the new ones as well as the old ones. So that's pretty fun, especially if you're a buff into those movies. I like movies, but I'm not like a Jurassic Park or Jurassic World buff or anything. I've seen them, I enjoy them. I'm not like, a super fan, but if you're really into these movies, I can imagine you just loving each time that shows you a little animation. So yeah, big fan of that. And again, I do like that it seems to be more similar to a Digimon, which makes sense because it's a dinosaur. It should feel a lot like a Digimon. And until we get a Digimon collaboration on a Nano where it has no fighting aspect other than playing games, I feel like this is honestly the closest you can get to a Digimon on a Tamagotchi Nano, because it honestly does feel like that. I mean, it makes sense. It's a dinosaur. A lot of Digimon are dinosaurs, so that makes sense. But yeah, so in terms of my rating for this, I'm going to actually give it a full 10 for enjoyment, a full 10 for ease of use. A little bit more enjoyable than a typical Nano. It does feel a bit more unique. The animations being bits of the movies is pretty cool. I think they've done a lot of a lot of work into this, and it really shows that a lot of love went into the creation of this one. So yeah, big fan of that. The roster's not too big, so it allows for more space for the animations, but the roster's not tiny either. It honestly makes me want to rewatch these movies. I'm a big fan of it. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the Jurassic World Tamagotchi Nano. I would absolutely recommend this, even if you're not a huge fan of the Jurassic Park, Jurassic World movie series. If you're just a dinosaur fan, I would recommend this, and especially if you just like Digimon, because it's really cute. But yeah, again, it's surprising that it hasn't had like an English release as recording this. But yeah, those are my thoughts for this cute little nano. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Like this video for my little dino friend. And of course, if you haven't already, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye!